My first name's Livingstone, and that comes from David Livingstone. And my great-grandmother, she named her son, my grandfather Livingstone. My grandfather named my father Livingstone. My father and mother named me Livingstone. And we named our son Wesley. At the age of 11, I accepted Christ into my heart, as the saying goes. The influences in my faith have been more literary than personal. In my 20s, I read virtually everything that C.S. Lewis wrote, and that was very instrumental in that, for me, faith was logical, historical, and factual. And then the writings of John Stott, J.I. Packer's writings, R.K. Harrison, who was the Old Testament professor at Wycliffe. 1991, January, February, the first Gulf War, we were in Pakistan. Verona, my wife, was 9 months pregnant. Pakistan supported Saddam Hussein. And at one point, the elders of the church came and said, "We can't protect you. You need to leave." And so us and maybe about 40 other foreigners from the city went into hiding. And every mosque, they all have loudspeakers. And they were all saying, "Kill the Americans, kill the Americans." We were in hiding for about 2 weeks. We eventually got ourselves to a Christian hospital where our son was born, and then we stayed there until the war was over. I wasn't actually frightened. It was kind of exciting. And then I had the opportunity in Jordan to be the chaplain at the British Embassy. And it was interesting to then minister to the diplomats who are just as needy as the poorest of the poor. So that was a really interesting time. And then the second thing, when my son, about a month before his 12th birthday, when he had the flu, he woke up and couldn't feel his legs. And it was diagnosed as acute transverse myelitis. And so he was paralyzed from the waist down. And then a month later, he woke up and says he got out of bed and walked over to his wheelchair and sat down and didn't really realize what had happened. And there was no muscular atrophy. That was on a Saturday. On Monday, we had an appointment in London. He was seeing 3 pediatric neurologists that said, "There's no medical explanation for this. This is miraculous." So in my 20s, I was a student. In my 30s, I was a missionary. In my 40s, I was a pastor. In my 50s, I was a pastor, till I retired at 64 and moved to Meaford. So what's now? Since my youth, O God, you have taught me, and to this day I declare your marvelous deeds. Even when I am old and gray, do not forsake me, O God, until I declare your power to the next generation. And so that's my goal, however that may happen and take place.